Good evening, everyone. My name is William Kennedy. My presentation is on the country of Barbados. I chose Barbados simply because of the influence of Dr. Miles Monroe, a great preacher of the Kingdom of God, who talked about it in one of his sermons and how it had a heavy Great Britain influence. So I wanted to research and study some more about it. So Barbados is cool. Not only is it a tourist destination, is commonly known for people to go have weddings and take vacations. It's one of the smallest countries in the world. It's ranked 180th in the world. It's the birthplace of Rihanna, and it's known for their sugar and their light manufacturing industry. So what's cool is Barbados was founded in the early 1600s by and like I mentioned earlier, influenced heavily by British rule and influence in the early 1600s, but it became independent in 1966. So their flag was actually designed, a design submitted by an art teacher in Barbados who wanted to honor the country's land, sea, and then again, the skies. So the first stripe in the flag represents the sky, the blue sky of Barbados. If you've seen any of the pictures in Google Images or even had the pleasure of visiting Barbados, you know, they have beautiful blue skies, beautiful bodies of water, beautiful oceans as they sit in the middle of the Caribbean. But then the yellow stripe in the middle represents the land. And then it features the trident, which is a symbol for the Greek, the god of Greek mythology for the sea. So because of their heavy English influence, what they did was they brought over slaves from Africa. So their demographics, their population is broken down to majority of African descent. As you can see, there's 92% of Africans are represented in Barbados, with a mixed bag of other diverse cultures. They are estimated to have a population of 304,139 people with a $19,900 per capita as of 2024. So they are, as I mentioned before, they're located in the middle of the Caribbean, located on the relatively in the North Atlantic Ocean, prime of the meridian. So they have great weather, tropical weather. As you can see the coordinates there on your screen, 13 degrees north, 59 degrees west. Their capital city houses most of those 304,000 people in Bridgetown, and that houses about 100,000 of Barbados' population. It's really cool. It's Barbados has turned into a country that is significantly known as a tourist location, and they have many different traditions and festivals that they have. If you live in Barbados, you are known as a Barbadian, which I found very interesting. But once a year, they have a summer of festivals and a group called a tuck band and landship that performs and replicates the traditional settings of how Barbados was founded, what they have transformed into, and performers will do African rhythms and dances and the steel drums and things of that nature when they march up and down the street for the festivals. They have flyers for them. Their biggest festival is the Whole Town Festival, and what it does is they have food samples from around the country. They, the Barbadian people model the Barbados fashion. The tuck band is a heavy representation, and then in February they have a week-long event. There's other festivals and traditions that they hold throughout the year. This one is the most famous tradition that they have. They are currently experiencing stage 2 of the demographic transition model. The population is growing. As I said, it stands at 304,000, but right now their birth rate is higher than their death rate. And actually, I know that says November 13th on your screen, but as of yesterday, their birth rate is actually up to 10.7, per 1,000 population, and their death rate is still at 8 per 1,000 population. So they're currently in stage 2 of what we've been studying in the demographic transition model. But the data is showing that while their population is steadily increasing, by the year 2036, that population is expected to decline. So the region of Barbados and what borders them is the Atlantic and the Crucial Caribbean. They have, the way it formed is 2 land masses came together and formed the plot of land for Barbados, rather. And again, it is in the Caribbean Sea, east of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. The language they speak is mainly English with a mixture of a Creole language, a Barbadian Creole, a form of that called Bajan. And I found this interesting too, that the majority of those who live in Barbados are Christians. They identify as Christians in different variations of Christianity, with a small minority identifying with other religions, or they don't follow anything at all. They all attend different churches around Barbados, but primarily Christianity is the religion of Barbados. And then their economy, they rely heavily on their imports as well. The U.S. is actually one of its biggest import partners, but the income is driven, their economy is boosted by the tourism that they have. And so they have many public services offered: hospitals, schools, public schools, transportation, police department, and they established the Ministry of Public Services in January of 2009. Their push and pull factors are people leaving because of the small market for jobs, and then people come obviously just to visit the island. So that was my presentation on Barbados. If you'd like to learn more, here are some references for you as well. Thank you for your time. God bless.